There's a habit almost everyone performs dozens of times every single day. Most people think it's harmless. In fact, many people believe it helps them relax. They do it when they wake up. They do it when they feel bored. And they definitely do it when they should be doing something important. The strange part is, almost nobody questions it. But neuroscience shows something uncomfortable. This habit slowly trains your brain to lose focus, avoid effort, and crave constant stimulation. Over time, it becomes harder to concentrate, harder to stay disciplined, and eventually people start asking themselves a frustrating question. Why can't I stay focused anymore? They blame motivation, they blame discipline, they blame themselves. But the real problem is something much more subtle, a hidden psychological trap. A trap created by something called dopamine. And once you understand how dopamine works, you'll realize why so many people today feel constantly distracted, unmotivated, and mentally exhausted. Point number 1, your brain is designed to chase rewards. To understand the problem, we first need to understand something fundamental about the human brain. Your brain is constantly searching for rewards. Thousands of years ago, this system helped humans survive. When our ancestors found food, their brain released dopamine. When they discovered shelter, dopamine appeared again. When they solved problems that helped them survive, dopamine rewarded them. Dopamine is often called the motivation chemical, but that description is slightly misleading. Dopamine does not reward success. It rewards the possibility of reward. It pushes you to chase things that might feel good. This system worked perfectly when rewards required effort. Finding food required hunting. Building shelter required work. Learning skills required practice. But modern life has changed the rules. Today, rewards are everywhere, and most of them require almost no effort at all. Your brain still responds the same way it always has, but now it's surrounded by endless sources of stimulation. And that's where the problem begins. Point number 2, the rise of easy dopamine. Look at how modern entertainment works. Social media, short videos, notifications, endless scrolling. Every swipe gives your brain a small reward. Sometimes it's funny, but every single piece of content creates a tiny dopamine spike. And because the rewards appear randomly, your brain becomes even more addicted to them. This is the exact same psychological mechanism used in slot machines. You never know when the next reward will appear. So your brain keeps searching, scrolling, refreshing, hoping the next piece of content will be even more satisfying. And the more this happens, the more your brain becomes used to instant stimulation. But here's the dangerous part. Once your brain adapts to easy dopamine, normal activities start to feel boring. Reading feels slow, working feels difficult, studying feels exhausting. Even pursuing your goals begins to feel mentally draining. Not because you lack discipline, but because your brain has been trained to expect constant reward with minimal effort. Point number 3, the focus collapse. Imagine two versions of your brain. One brain is trained by effort, the other brain is trained by instant stimulation. The effort-trained brain can concentrate for long periods. It understands that meaningful rewards take time. It tolerates boredom. It pushes through difficult work. But the instant stimulation brain behaves very differently. It struggles with silence. It becomes restless quickly. It constantly searches for distractions. Every few minutes it wants something new, something stimulating, and the result is something psychologists call attention fragmentation. Your focus breaks into small pieces. Instead of deep work, your mind jumps from task to task, from notification to notification, from idea to idea. Over time, this pattern slowly erodes your ability to stay engaged with challenging activities. And this leads to one of the biggest modern problems. People want success, but their brain has been trained to avoid the very process required to achieve it. Point number 4, why discipline feels harder than ever. Many people today believe they simply lack discipline. They see successful people working hard and staying focused, and they assume those people must have stronger willpower. But often the difference is not willpower, it's environment. People who maintain focus often control their sources of dopamine. They reduce constant stimulation. They create space for boredom. They protect their attention. This allows their brain to slowly reset, because when the brain is no longer overwhelmed with instant rewards, something interesting happens. Effort becomes easier again. Focus returns. Motivation begins to grow naturally. In other words, discipline becomes less about forcing yourself and more about removing the distractions that weaken your brain's reward system. Point number 5, the hidden power of boredom. Modern society treats boredom as something negative, something to escape immediately. The moment people feel bored, they reach for their phone. They open another tab, they search for stimulation. But boredom actually plays an important psychological role. It creates space for deeper thinking. It allows creativity to emerge. It pushes the brain to explore meaningful goals. When boredom disappears completely, so does the mental space required for focus and innovation. This is why some of the most productive people in history deliberately embraced boredom. They took long walks, they sat with their thoughts, they allowed their mind to wander without constant stimulation, and in doing so, they protected something incredibly valuable: their attention. Here's the key takeaway. The biggest threat to your goals today is not lack of intelligence, not lack of opportunity, not even lack of motivation. It's the silent habit of feeding your brain constant, easy rewards. Every small distraction trains your brain to avoid effort. Every instant dopamine hit weakens your tolerance for delayed gratification. But the good news is that the brain is adaptable. When you reduce constant stimulation, when you allow boredom to return, when you focus on fewer things with deeper attention, your brain begins to rewire itself. Focus becomes easier, motivation grows stronger, and the things that once felt impossible suddenly feel achievable again. The world today is designed to steal your attention. Every app, every notification, every endless stream of content. But the people who succeed are not the ones who consume the most stimulation. They are the ones who protect their focus. Because in a world full of distractions, attention becomes one of the most powerful advantages a person can have. And the moment you start protecting your attention, you start taking control of your future.